So again, this is a relatively brief chapter, but I'm including it because it's important. And this chapter is all about thank you notes. So really what you should be doing, everyone you interact with, your interviewers, the people you network with, and the recruiters, you should be sending a thank you note to them either after like your first interview or after a networking call. And this is super important just to stay on good terms and be respectful. And speaking from experience, being on the other side of networking calls when people call you and ask for advice, it's always good to send a follow-up thank you email and be specific on what they help you with. And even following up again on that, when people help you, they really want to know what the outcome was. So if we have a 30-minute call about PM recruiting, I want to know what ended up happening, where'd you end up working, and even if you failed, where'd you end up? And it's just when people people are basically investing in you by doing that phone call, and they want to know what ultimately happens with your application. So keep that in mind as well. But going back to the thank you note, what you can do is you can use the process that I taught you in my #1 recruiting tip to be able to source the email of your recruiters or your interviewers if you don't have it. That way you can follow up with a thank you email. And to make it easy, I actually attached a template that you can just use. But for the networking calls, I highly suggest that you really customize it. That way it's a bit more authentic and you can actually cite things in that you talked about in your call that really helped you, but be genuine. And then lastly, like I just want to touch on, thank you email probably isn't going to push you onto a higher decision if for like with an interviewer, but ultimately it's just good to do that, to one, just be respectful, and to stay on good terms with your interviewer and your recruiters and the people you network with. So make sure you send a thank you email to everyone you interact with.